You can start with some Elvis, and I'll go down the line here. Where do you
Let's
start?
see. I spent a lot of time with Elvis through the marquees. He liked the marquees because we had horns and suits, and we did steps, and we were nice boys. So he liked us. And he would come to the couple of places that we played and sit out in the parking lot in his Cadillac and with a couple of his guys and listen to us the same way we used to listen to Willie Mitchell. He would come listen to us. And then on the weekend, on the breaks, we'd go out and talk to Elvis. And he was a big star. I mean, he was really, our singer Ronnie Stutz and he were buddies. And the rest of us knew him and hung out. We went to the fairgrounds occasionally with him, or to the movies, or to his house. You know, I've hung out in all those places. And so when the time came for me, personally, in the Memphis Horns, me and Andrew, to record with him in 1969, we had been recording with Neil Diamond. And we had just done Sweet Caroline, dun, 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 remember that? And what was the other one, Amy?
Brother Love.
Yeah, Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show. And we were so impressed. Neil Diamond, I mean, he was a big hero. We were in awe of Neil, and Elvis is coming. Oh, well, yeah. Don't let him interrupt our session here. Because he was a buddy, and he was a Memphis guy, and he'd been singing Jailhouse Rock and Teddy Bear, and we weren't very impressed. We were heavy. We were into heavy stuff. Neil Diamond's horns. I mean, we were feeling pretty swelled up about all that. So here come Elvis and Chief and Charlie Hodge and the group that we hung out with and laughed with and told lies with. And here they came. And we were not that impressed. It was okay, but it was at American Studios with a great American rhythm section and my horn guys. And so we began to record, and we did Suspicious Minds. And I knew that we were onto something very big for Elvis. And Mark James wrote that song. And then we began to work on another song called In the Ghetto. And we were in the ghetto. Martin Luther King had just been killed, and there was a man on the roof with a submachine gun. And there was a German shepherd under the control board, wrapped around Chip's Moman's feet, I guess. But when we put the voices and the horns on In the Ghetto, all hair on my body stood straight out. He was just over my shoulder singing. And I said, damn, this guy's going to be big. I mean, this is a real song here. We're not kidding around with teddy bears and stuff. And I don't know how the teenage girls are going to go for it, but this is a world-class, hard-hitting song, In the Ghetto, recorded in Memphis, Tennessee, in the ghetto, with people with machine guns guarding us against who knows what. And so when it all came out, I was flying a Learjet at the time for a man named Ed Wren. That was what I was training to do. When the trumpet fell in, I was going to step right off into that Learjet business and go right on as an aviator. And it was just about this time that the decision had been made for me that I was making so much money playing the trumpet that I couldn't possibly be a pilot because they don't make any money hardly. So I began to go to Las Vegas every time Elvis opened, flying the Learjet. Mr. Ed Wren and his wife Bobby, who was Elvis's first cousin, and me and my wife at the time, Linda Christopher. We went out there when he opened, and would sit in the front booth and observe the show. And I feel so fortunate in the scope of my musical career to have taken part in the music that made him a real singer. And that's all I got to say about that. I had a ball with Elvis Presley. He was a great guy.
That's great.
He could sit at this table and tell stories with us and joke with us, go outside and play touch football. I mean, he was a real guy.
He was.
The only thing he didn't do was drink, and the rest of us wished he did. But we couldn't get away with him. He didn't believe in drinking, of course. He might be doing some other things. But he was really an up-and-up fella. He loved his mama and loved his friends and loved fried chicken and bologna sandwich. You know, all the stuff you hear about is true.
Yeah.
He started out with a fried peanut butter and banana sandwich with mayo and white bread. He loved all that. But he was a down-home guy. If he was sitting here tonight, he'd be talking just as loose and free as I am and enjoying himself.
Down to earth.
He was.
He was, he really was.
Were you in that crew over there? Come on, now.
You want my Elvis stories? The first time I met Elvis, he was at Dewey Phillips radio station. And my sister-in-law, Betty Berger, who was my brother, Louis Jack Berger's either girlfriend at the time or wife, we went by to meet Elvis. And Lamar Fike was with him. And I don't know if Elvis had been on the radio station or whatever, and at that time we had Polaroid cameras and we took pictures. And then he said, you know, let's all go over to my house. So we went over to Audubon, one, not Graceland, but the one to Audubon. And he had a pool table, played pool, etc. And just, as Wayne said, I mean, just really down to earth, very gentlemanly-like. That was my first meeting with Elvis. Then a couple of times he did come to the Plantation. I didn't really, you know, I let him do his thing because all the customers did their thing and I did my thing and we were all in our place. Then the next time I got a call from, I did a TV ad for ponchos, and I got a call from Elvis's mother, and Elvis wanted to know if I would go out with him. And I was very much in love with somebody else, and I was not impressed with, I mean, I went, oh, I'm going to, it was not, I mean, living at the Plantation Inn, you saw movie stars, you saw, I mean, you know, people were people. And I was in love with someone else. So anyway, no, I didn't. Then I got a call from George Klein. And George wanted to know if one of the girls that was in the beauty contest that I had crowned queen here, there was a beauty contest here at that year. I can't think of her name. Garrett? Was it? Anyway. Who? Helen Garrett? No, it wasn't Helen Garrett. She was one too, but no. Anyway, it's not important. But anyway, so he just said, you know, would you come over to Elvis? This was Graceland. So I went to Graceland several times, and the only thing I noticed about Elvis, if a girl would come on to him, it would be a total turnoff. He would become this very angry man. He would be a gentleman, he would be everything. But all these, you would see, I was a people watcher because of the Plantation Inn. And I would just sit back, you know, as a little girl, 3 and 4 years old, and watch people dance and people drink and people do their thing. So I did watch Elvis, his, he just did not like if a girl would come up to him and just come throw herself on him. That was the only negative thing I can say about Elvis. Other than that, he was wonderful. Also, he came, my father had fireworks stands in West Memphis, among other things, and Elvis would always come over and buy fireworks. He was big on fireworks. So that was another thing. So that was my Elvis stories. Yeah.
Ready?
Mr. Vega, don't you have an Elvis story?
I wouldn't know where to start, to be honest about it. I'm gonna pass on it.
Pass on Elvis. A little
Yeah,
bitty
well,
Elvis story?
Well, I should say something, no, I better not.
Yeah, go on. Say it.
Well, this is the
Come on,
time to
Raymond.
tell
We
us.
said good or bad, it's gotta come out.
Well, it was good, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, him and Jerry Lee Lewis used to come in the club, and
Can y'all
they
hear?
used to call me the wrong way, and he said something about, well, they always got him free, they didn't pay to come in at all, and they just grabbed me the wrong way. I was so busy, And they stopped him at the door, and I told them, I took $2 off, $2, you know, two. He said, I said, yes, it cost you $2. I walked off. They got mad at me. But everything was all right after. I mean, I was so busy, and I was just, you know, not that I was having no fights, and there was people, kids arguing, you know. It was like maybe 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning when that happened, about the last deal that the band had to play.
They
That
weren't
was the only
free.
deal that I could say about it. But I did tell them it cost them $2. I said, not the idea that $2 is just the way it's supposed to be. You know, I didn't know who they were.
Yeah.
I knew who they were. I just caught it unsuspected, you know. And Jerry stayed mad at me for the longest. He still mad at me.
Oh, gosh.
Is there anything else you would like especially to talk about?
Just how grateful I am. I mean, for just music and what every single person that played on that bandstand gave to the world. I mean, that's the bottom line.
I've got a question. When you walked in the front door, tell me about if you're coming to Plantation Inn, and you come in the parking lot, there's the big sign. Walk me through the Plantation Inn coming in the front door. Can you do that? I'd love to.
I can walk you through every inch of that club if you want.
That's what I would love to hear. I want to hear about pulling in the parking lot, what it looks like going in the door.
Well, okay, you have Highway 70 going by with trucks and cars and neon signs going on. You know, so that was what I saw out of my bedroom window. So, but then, okay, you come into the parking lot, you park your car, you get out of the car, you have to have, if you're a boy, you have to have a girl, if you're a girl, you have, it's couples only. And you walk in, and usually mother was sitting there, 240.
Was it a booth or was it just a table? Or
No, it's a little entrance, and then she was in like this little booth with a window, and with, like at a movie theater, you know. And it was 240, and she always said the 40 cents went for excise tax, and the $2 went in her pocket, so that's the way it went. And then there was a door. After that, you walk a few steps, and then there was another door to come through. The dance floor was not sunken. I've heard that story, but it was not a sunken dance floor. Then, if you turn this way, on both sides were seats, like these, and round seats. The bandstand and the dance floor was just long. It was the largest dance floor in the South, they said. And it was just long and went straight into the dance floor, into the bandstand. The women's restroom was on the right, the men's left restroom was on the left. Then, if you, the other part, the back part opposite of the bandstand was like where they cooked and did the food and stuff. Your little hole was buried over there.
Yes, it was.
There was like this door that you open, and you had to kind of squat to go in there. Right?
It was a little hole.
That was the dark room
That was a dark room.
where you
Yeah.
did the photography and stuff. And then,
Go ahead.
and then in the front, facing the Broadway, Highway 70, was another room. And originally, Daddy had that more of a formal eating area in the 40s. Then as time went on, he kind of like went into this mode of like the television era came in, so he put a little TV in there. I remember the Lone Ranger being on. And then the kitchen was our living room, but first it was a kitchen, then it became our living room. And from that area, then there was that one entrance, there was two entrances to the upstairs area where we lived. One was from the living room, which used to be the kitchen, and then we would go up the stairs and then kind of turn around. 4 bedrooms, 2 on the front. As I said, mine faced the neon sign, Mother's and Daddy's faced the neon sign. There were two in the back, 2 bedrooms in the back and 1 bathroom upstairs. And then the part that I used to play on, I would crawl out the window and get on top of the low roof, which we would always worry when it snowed because we were afraid the roof would fall in on the dance floor. And then on the less far end was where the garbage was from all the night before. It was horrible smell. And that's the layout of the Plantation Inn. Behind it was cotton fields and my garden.
Well, I have another question. I want like in maybe 10 sentences you describe your dad. I know we've heard so many wonderful things, but and then to describe
Chuck?
your mom. You know, we
I'm dead, but
know
never
she's a
son of a gun.
businesswoman and hardworking, but just like 10 sentences, dreamer, you know.
Okay, my father was a showman. He was handsome. He he was pretty. His downfall was drinking, hill and hill. And is there such a thing? But people, I don't care, any walk of life, whatever they needed, whenever they needed, if he needed to get up in the middle of the night, whatever it was, he would be there for them. As far as I think he was talented. I think he was artistic. I think he recognized music. And how did he go about hiring y'all? I mean, did he just,
Well, he just picked Floyd out the bunch from the get-go. See, Floyd had been playing over there, just like I said, got rid of the drum player because he and
so you can be the head of the,
so he just picked Floyd just like that.
isn't that amazing? Anyway, he knew talent, I think, and y'all don't know this, but maybe you do know it. Daddy, when he left the Plantation Inn, and my brother took over the Plantation, he went to the Hi-Hat Club on 3rd Street. Does anyone remember the Hi-Hat Club?
I remember.
Yeah, he ran the Hi-Hat Club in Memphis. Black bands, loved them. They were the best. And, you know, that's the way he felt. Mother, she was the worker. Daddy was the dreamer, Mother was the worker. She was the boss. See, everybody knew everybody. I mean, we were like a family. I mean, we just really all knew and could feel the vibes of what was going on. Mother was there. She meant business. And she meant business with her daughter right by her side from get-go. I mean, I had to be there. So that was my life. Yeah.
And they, every night, they would dress up, your mom and your dad would dress up every night and go every night to the club, every night?
I would say not every, I mean, Daddy was there. Daddy had his bow tie. You know, that was his trademark, I guess, the bow tie. It's smooth.
You can mix up the Philip Gone and the Wind, Gone the Wind. Clark Gable couldn't touch it. It was smooth. I mean, he had it. That's all too.
He had it.
Jack
He did.
tried, but Jack couldn't meet the
He would walk down the street in Memphis and people would stop him.
That's right.
Yeah. And he would take time and time and more time and time and time and time. You had to be very patient to be the daughter of Morris Berger. And Mother was quick. She wanted to get to the point and get it done. So that was, I guess that's what made them a good match. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
He would ride with him in the car from Florida. And so I'm looking at alligators and swamp. He said, David, yeah. He said, we'll take you to a place. Crab place. Shack. And you take this club and grab the boil dogs in a home, you know, talking like this. It was amazing. One day when the Florida was like it is right now, the United States with retail, you know, stuff going down, houses, he went out, there was an apartment complex. He bought 6 apartments. And I said, oh, what are you doing? He called now. Oh, no, you can't believe what I just did. These things could be worth a lot of money. They went bankrupt, you know. Florida going through that right now. And then they turned around, and you know what? 2 years, it became very expensive joints. So he was an innovator.
Y'all, you know, good looks is a tradition in the burger family. We had Morris
Wayne.
Burger, and his good looks are legend. But the lady sitting next to me, good looks, is legend too. And I want to tell a little bit about how West Memphis honored this genealogy. It's a burger family.
You're vexing me
You wanna
now,
talk
ain't
about it?
No.
You can make me talk
No,
about it.
I don't want to talk about
She
it.
was Miss West Memphis. I'm not sure of the year. Wouldn't tell it if I knew. And she was also a homecoming queen. So everybody in West Memphis recognized the beauty of Miss Brenda Berger.
Thank you.
And we all acknowledged her father's looks too.
Thank you, but inside's the best, right?
That's right.
And Wayne, let me say something.
Uh-oh, he's not gonna shut up.
I found this out when I went to the newspaper, looking for a picture of Bert Elvis. And they had fire there, and I stood there for hours and hours. And I get all these articles, right? You were in, you know, high school graduate, and they dedicated an outhouse. You were Junior Thomas, or a mayor, she was there cutting the ribbon. So we were cutting in my life. No girl could do. And I just sit there and laugh. If they open anything, she would cut it. The gas station, she cut the ribbon.
Well, you know, being a owner of a nightclub like the Plantation Inn, you had to be a politician. And Morris was certainly a politician. I think it rubbed off on the
That's right. That's
junior
right.
here.
You got that right.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. And I know Brenda was all over town.
But I will tell you the other side of the coin. With Daddy being Jewish and us owning a nightclub, it did put, like, I wanted to go to a private school in Memphis. That was a no-no. I could not. I couldn't go to Hutchinson's and I couldn't go to Los Angeles. Because my father owned a nightclub, number one, and because he was Jewish, number two. So I went to Halbert, to high school. I went to first grade. And then I finally found a school in Memphis. They called around Miss Lee's on Peabody. And then I'm glad, I mean, things happen for a reason. I ended up at West Memphis High School. And I was just, felt like I fit in, you know. I was part of where I belonged.
The Cotton Patch.
Right.
Well, we were all glad you were there.
I was glad to be there too. I'm glad
Believe me.
you were there, Wayne.
Let me ask you, do anyone know what happened to Marvin, though? Out of all the people, customers you all ever had, Marvin was my favorite, but
Mario Cohen? No.
Marvin Dacus.
Dacus?
Oh, Marvin Dacus.
Dacus boys.
Oh, where is
That's
it?
what I want to find out.
Dacus? I don't know.
Bobby and Marvin Dacus.
Yeah?
They lived on our block on Roosevelt
Are they
Street.
dead?
Yeah. They tore down my sandbox, the two of them. Anyway,
They're not
Best
around.
customers in the world, I tell you.
I know.
Marvin was
Took
quite a
care of you,
character.
huh?
I don't know what happened to those guys, though. I understand Marvin, I can't say it because I don't know if it's true.
Oh, Sam.
Now we'll all wonder.
Yeah, we'll all wonder, if anyone finds out if something bad happened to Marvin Dacus, please let me know. He's a good friend of mine.
I know his dad tried to keep him out of trouble anyway.
But the rumor was,
That he died.
No.
That was a rumor I heard. Please don't spread that he did, because I'm telling you, it's just a rumor.
I hope it is one.
Me too, he was a good fella. And that red-headed brother of his.
Well, I was gonna ask on TC, Betty talked about the women's room and the men's room, and what you earlier were saying about the stage, you know.
The stage goes up probably 2
Yeah.
stage.
So, as y'all were the only black people in there, would they let y'all use the?
We had our room back.
You had a backstage,
Yes, she didn't mention the back, doing the back.
did you have to go in there?
Yeah, sometimes we criticize the cotton field.
They can go back in the car, that's right. I was gonna say.
That's why the cotton was so rich back there.
That's why the radishes grew so big.
Don't mention the from other people out there. We had a backstage back there. It was a big budget.
If you live over a nightclub, how in the world do you go to sleep? How do you do your homework?
You let the music put you to sleep.
Wow.
It was about 4 o'clock in the morning too.
Yeah.
And how did you, obviously you survived that, how did you cope with all this?
You just, the music didn't bother me. It was the lights going on and off. It was just do, 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 do.
When did you do your homework?
In the afternoons.
Y'all have a pretty standard family life before evening. In the daytime, I mean,
No, I never saw my daddy hardly at all, and mother and I worked during the daytime or either whatever. You know. Daddy was the night person. I was a day person. I was a child. You know, I was tried to be a child and normal. So he slept in the daytime.
You know, it was Mary Goldsmith.
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Okay.
In describing the layout of the building and it having the largest dance floor in the South, what would be a big crowd in the Plantation in a big weekend?
Wow.
a bunch.
Would you
Raymond downstairs.
Raymond would know.
He would know,
over 500?
Oh, way over
800.
500,
I saw
700
Christian
people.
bad show, trying to get him in and out.
About 800 maybe.
May have
Really?
we had different people
That's
came at
big.
different times.
Yeah.
We had a different crowd
Yeah,
at 11:30 or 12, had turnover.
Yeah.
Had three,
12 o'clock.
we had 3
It was a
turnovers.
whole different. That's true. I forgot
We had
that.
3 turnovers.
You would get one crowd. They'd leave and then boy, another one come. Yeah.
We can have
Memphis
fun.
closed down at 11.
Then we had the ones that was got staggering at the end. It came in about 1:30, 1 o'clock, 1:30 or 2.
From 2 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock in the morning, that was musician time.
Yeah.
See, like,
They could come in and go.
I hated rock and roll, so I couldn't play nothing but jazz.
Right.
Lloyd being a jazz musician, he had our time to enjoy, see.
They played,
Other businesses come in, you know.
Y'all played jazz the first hour too, didn't you?
No,
In the
sometimes,
evening?
we very seldom get into jazz until later hours.
Later. I know when I played with Bowlegs, the first hour from 9 to 10, or 10 to 11 would be, not at the club in Memphis when I
No, I
played.
mean, is he dead? I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
he did.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
But the first hour would be kind of light jazz, Stardust.
Nobody be in there during the time.
Yeah, and they would be drinking and getting ready to get out on the dance floor. So we give them stuff, they could sit there and
Rock and roll and blues.
Get it going then.
getting a nerve up.
Oh, God.
Well, I think we did something sort of interesting here. I'm going to introduce our other moderator who didn't get to moderate. Jeff Llewellyn back there was going to do a question and answer session, and we got started, and we just segued into it. I hope we haven't disappointed you that you did.
No, I just, Miss Rivers talked about her being in heaven, and I think she brought us all a piece of heaven tonight.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yep.
I'm an archivist at the Arkansas History Commission, and I feel really, really touched and moved that, tell a story. I turned 50 on Main Street of Memphis back in July, sitting in the Center for Southern Culture, feeling sorry for myself, with a glass of tea and a sick girlfriend back at the motel, and I was listening to the Daddy Mac Blues Band, and I looked down and looked up, and I thought, well, now maybe 50's not so bad. And it's like Calvin Newbern said, it's the spirit and it's the music. It's what gets us through. Blues is the prayer and music is the answer. And that y'all are one big family here. Plantation Inn, West Memphis. That's what it's all about.
if we can get that spirit back in today's music, maybe we can get something going. This is what makes Arkansas special. It's the people, and it's the music that holds us together. And it's my job to get this message out to people. The history isn't all just Robert E. Lee fighting in the Civil War and somebody's great-great-grandmother's middle name or something. This is history too. This is what makes us Arkansas, and this is what holds us together. And black and white, Republican and Democrat, Tennessee and Arkansas. This is it. This is what it's all about. And that's why I was glad to come here today. And y'all keep on us, because us historians, the archives, we need to pay attention to things like this. We need to not just government records, but the music and the soul of people. That's what we need to preserve too. So that's my sermon. But thank
great.
y'all. I'm real proud to be here, and y'all are great people.
Thank you so much.
Back over here.
Back over here.
Dwayne.
I've been talking here lately about the heritage of Memphis music, and of course that would include the heritage of Plantation Inn. It's directly in line with Stax and High and Sun Records. And I think I mentioned to you guys before that as I go around the planet Earth and we talk about Memphis in this area, they don't particularly care about politics or the river. They do care about the music. This summer I was in Italy at the Paretta Soul Festival that I started in 1988 with Rufus Thomas and the Memphis Horns, and it's still going today. So this year when I was there was a group of kids. There was a high school band from Nice, France. There were about 60 of them. And they put on the doggonest hour and a half of Memphis music you've ever heard. They don't speak no English, but they play an hour and a half of Stax and basically mainly Stax music. And they played the heck out of it. I'm talking about with such fire and such enthusiasm, like it was their music and they're French kids.
It is.
The same evening,
It is their music.
I worked with 35 Australian girls from, where are they from? Melbourne, Australia. And in their junior and senior year, they can elect to study soul music. And this past year, they studied Memphis music, they studied Stax. And they came and did an hour and a half program. There's a little tiny redhead played baritone. I just wanted to scoop her up and bring her home. Man, those kids were hot. And then I'm in Italy. And I came home and I went to West Memphis High. And the West Memphis High School kids did an entire program of my music this whole year. We're touching kids, high school age and below, I guess, all over the world. They love this music because it's fun. And they can identify the story in the song. It has a melody, it has great lyrics and a story. But that's our heritage. We're all over the place. I can go anywhere and turn on or be in an elevator in Sydney, Australia, or Tokyo and hear Otis Redding, Try a Little Tenderness, or Hold On, I'm Coming. Those really identifiable horn things. That's why I can identify all those instantly. But this music is alive and fervent. Is that the right word? It's going great. Fertile, yes. It's everywhere. It's messing them up, boy. So when y'all think that we're from Memphis and we're from the Delta, and our heritage may not be as strong as some other heritage that I might be able to think of, it is. I think that the music for Memphis and the Delta people, is the strongest there ever has been anywhere, and I'm a witness to it. And I'm very happy to have participated and been a part. And
That's
I'm glad to
great.
be here today, and thank you for being here.
Can I throw in one more thing?
Bob, you were scheduled to do closing remarks. You want to?
I think we just did it.
Okay.
Captain Pat wanted to say something,
Yeah.
and then I just want to say one thing.
Sure. I don't think they'll chase us out for another 5 minutes.
No, just,
Gotta set up
it's
this
not gonna
dance
be
floor.
long.
Couple of months ago, I was about 10 o'clock at night, sitting at my computer, and an email popped up saying, "I hope I found the right Captain Pat." And having been away from this scene for 60 years plus, to suddenly ask me, have someone ask me if I once worked at the Plantation Inn, my reply was leaping lizards to her.
It was, I have his email.
And I still don't know who or how or why anyone would keep records that would go back that far for a guy that worked in the place for a couple of years and come up with my name, or how they found me after they did. Well, you can type in Captain Pat on the internet or on Google and get my name apparently. But out of that came this thing, an interchange of music and emails and photographs that led up to part of this stuff that's going on here. And whoever it was, the entire organization that is responsible for bringing Carol and me up here, I would like to express my gratitude. Thank you.
You're so welcome. I give you a hug. I have a question, and this is, I don't know if it's me personally. The 40s, the 50s, and just a little bit of the 60s, I lived the plantation in music. And then along came the disco, and it just blew me away. I just could not relate to that because my whole heart and soul was into soul and into just whatever y'all played. And I don't know if there's something wrong with me, but I can't get past the Plantation Inn era. And there may be something that, you know, deep down I don't want to let go. But it's just, when my brother opened the El Toro Lounge, I just couldn't relate to it. Why, I don't know. But I love...
There's nothing wrong with you. I feel the same way.
No, Charles wasn't at the El Toro Lounge.
I thought he signed out.
No, he was at the Plantation.
Yeah, I know, I thought he left over there. When it closed down, didn't he go over there for a while?
Mm-mm.
He did? I thought he did.
Well, you're just handicapped with good musical taste and you can't do anything about it.
I guess that's what it is. I'm just stuck in time zone. But I'm glad I'm here. I'm still stuck here with all of y'all. Thank you so much.
Yay, Ray.
Thank you all. I think we did what we came for.
You gonna talk?
My first experience.
I hope everybody's coming back tonight and hear this music.
I had never heard it before. Some people brought a disc in and stuck it in the player while they were sailing.
Was it
And
this?
I
A little nervous, don't you?
couldn't.